right now at 7.
The way it looks, it's crazy, like apocalyptic.
First thing I did is take a picture and send it home to everybody I know.
An unprecedented phenomenon. No daylight, just orange. What to expect as the sun goes down and the chances of another orange day tomorrow.
That's what I've heard. My husband said, welcome to Mars.
We've been in the Bay Area for about going on 40 years, and we've never seen it like this. Just unreal. This is unprecedented.
And why this smoke may increase your risk of catching a virus like COVID-19.
What it does to people with healthy lungs is increases the risk of infection.
Right now on the KPIX 5 News at 7 and streaming on CBS Bay Area. Bay Area landmarks like you've never seen them before. Coy Tower, the Golden Gate Bridge, and Bay Bridge, of course, Lake Merritt, the Dish in Palo Alto, and Hoover Tower at Stanford, all with a backdrop of orange smoke and ash. Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Cook.
And I'm Ken Bastida. The question tonight, will everything still look orange tomorrow?
It looks like hell. I would describe it looks like hell.
Somebody described it as kind of an apocalyptic sense this morning on a text from a friend. It's actually kind of beautiful yet eerie, I guess is how I would describe it.
I looked outside and it looked like doomsday. I mean, you could tell something is horribly going wrong.
All right, where's this coming from? Fires to the north, exploding in size in Butte and Yuba counties right now. The huge smoke plumes are drifting right over us, and fires raging in Oregon and Washington are also now sending their smoke our way.
This just gives you a sense of the extent of the fires and what a powerful kind of phenomenon they are and how dangerous they are.
That there's no fires right around here right now, and feeling bad for the people that are stuck in the middle of it.
Well, check out these 4 live angles from our exclusive Salesforce cameras in San Francisco. Normally, when they're fogged in, they're gray. Today, just kind of a yucky shade of orange. Here's a look at the commute. Drivers had to use their headlights basically all day long. You can see right now the skies have definitely become a little less orange. And check this out, San Francisco compared side by side to a scene from the movie Blade Runner. It was, of course, all shared all over the internet.
Our chief meteorologist, Paul Hagan, is here to break down where this is coming from. We talked about a little while ago why it looks so strange outside, Paul.
Yeah, we'll get to the coloring in just a moment. Let's start with where it's coming from. Those fires in Northern California blowing the smoke towards us, but it's not just Northern California. Let's zoom out for the wider perspective. This is a satellite image of the smoke visible from space before the sun started going down, and those fires, the August complex and the North complex, which includes the Bear Fire, have been blowing that smoke towards us. But it doesn't matter which direction the wind comes from, because if it blew from the east, the smoke from the Creek Fire would blow towards us. If it blew in from the south, the smoke from Southern California would be blowing in. You're seeing that mixed with the marine layer in the other box right now, but even a breeze off the Pacific Ocean, which you think would help us out. Well, the smoke in Oregon is actually blowing offshore, and then it just loops around and comes towards us. So we're going to be dealing with this for a while in terms of poor air quality and just that funky look in the atmosphere, and that comes from those smoke particles and the way that those smoke particles filter out the sunlight. Usually the light that we see contains every stripe of the rainbow. You only see those stripes when it's filtered through raindrops, but the smoke doesn't produce exactly the same effect. It's the shorter wavelengths. It's the blue and purple end of the visible spectrum that's more likely to get bounced around. The technical term is scattering, and what makes it through is the longer wavelength light, and that's on the red and orange end of the spectrum. So it's the same thing when you're looking at a sunset. When you're looking towards the horizon, you're looking through more atmosphere. Well, now we're just looking through more of those smoke particles, and all we see is that yellow and orange that's left over, and it's even more of an effect at sunrise and sunset until right now, when it's so thick that it just blocks the light entirely, and earlier than normal sunset, even though technically the sun is still above the horizon. Of course, air quality has been an issue once again, but the air quality map maybe not quite as bad as what you would expect with that orange sky overhead. We'll talk about the role the marine layer plays in that in just a few minutes.
All right, scattering. Paul, got it. Thank you.
Our team coverage continues with KPIX 5's Kenny Choi on what this orange sky really means for our health. Kenny?
Liz, that orange glow that we saw dominating the skies across the Bay Area earlier doesn't necessarily mean that there's poor air quality. It's when that AQI index number gets very high that there are health concerns, though, and how it can impact your lungs. Even with particles from ash and soot falling, some workers have no choice but to be outside.
It's not
the best situation, but got to pay the bills.
But the orange, ominous skies can be deceiving.
Well, we're not getting the impacts of that smoke because we have this very thick, heavy fog layer and marine layer in between.
If that protection disappears and the air quality gets worse, it's the finer particulate matter that can lead to health issues.
People with pre-existing heart and lung disease are the ones at most risk.
If a particle is large, say it's a PM10, a particulate size of 10 microns, you know, your nose can filter it out.
An air quality index of 50 or below means good air. When it's 100 or more, it's no longer safe for sensitive groups, including pregnant women, children, seniors, and people with respiratory conditions like asthma.
When they inhale particles, small particles that can lodge deep in the lung, like wildfire smoke particles, that can cause more airway inflammation.
Increased inflammation can lead to more serious issues for higher risk individuals, but still a concern for those considered healthy.
What it does to people with healthy lungs is increases the risk of infection.
One type of infection that could worsen with finer particles lodging deep into the lungs is COVID-19.
If you get some wildfire smoke causing some inflammation, that sort of adds fuel to the fire and increases the risk of severe COVID-19.
Now, the long-term health effects for most people is not quite as clear. We did talk to one researcher at Stanford University who studied firefighters with prolonged exposure to smoke their entire careers. They did find increases in certain types of cancer and other health-related illnesses. We're live in San Francisco in Pacific Heights. Kenny Choi, KPIX 5.
Kenny, thank you for that.
Let's take a live look at SFO. Now, you'd think the smoky conditions would slow flights headed in and out of the Bay Area, but the airport told us there's actually been no impact on air traffic. Sure was a strange sight for passengers, though. One woman took this video while landing at SFO. Another passenger captured this clip from over the plane's wing. That orange haze as far as the eye can see.
The way it looks, it's crazy, like apocalyptic or something, you know, like really. Because when I started work at 6:30 this morning, it was like reddish. It wasn't even this color.
First thing I did is take a picture and send it home to everybody I know about how crazy it is at 1 in the afternoon. I was worried the flight wouldn't be able to make it in, so I called ahead and made sure, you know, and they said, no problem. But, I mean, you couldn't see anything on the flight in, you know.
And when all of this passes, the car wash will be a very popular place because of scenes like this one, ash raining down, covering these cars in Daly City. And this is happening all over the Bay Area.
And we have some breaking news tonight. Just within the past 30 minutes, we have learned that 3 deaths have now been reported in connection with the Bear Fire. That one is burning in Plumas and Butte counties this evening. Officials are working to identify the victims involved. Thousands of people have been evacuated in that area after 50-mile-an-hour winds gave the blaze new life overnight. People fled. Some encountered flames burning on either side of a road out of Oroville. This inferno has been a bit of deja vu for residents of Paradise, which was devastated by the Camp Fire just 2 years ago.
I've been breathing it for days. This is the worst smoke I've seen since 2008 firestorms. I don't see them saving that valley. I just can't see it. There's just so much dead wood up there.
Well, several people are also reported missing right now. The Sheriff's Department says that they are calculating an exact number of people missing and dedicating a team to finding them. A little farther south, the Willow Fire has forced thousands of people to evacuate in Yuba County. About 1,300 acres have burned there, destroying several structures and cars. CAL FIRE says the crews are cutting through several smoldering trees, and they're also doing structure defense, making sure that homes still near those hot spots are being protected.
It just seems like the last, 5 years has just gotten really bad. It's just crazy. It makes me sad.
This year we already packed up 3 different times and got our stuff ready. We got our dog. It's incredible.
And it's not just California. Coming up next, the historic fires that are burning right now throughout the Pacific Northwest.
And wait till you hear this incredible stat about the acreage that is already burned and how the smoke is floating all the way down to us.
This is crazy. We've lived here for 15 years and we've never had to be prepared to evacuate.
And exactly 1 decade ago, the deadly and devastating scene you see there, the Bay Area neighbors that are looking back tonight.
That's something I miss, just waving back at each other.
And what a day to try to reopen a gym outdoors. The Bay Area city finally allowing it.
Get an amazing deal on your new mattress during the Labor Day event at the Revive Sleep Center inside Living Spaces. For a limited time, save $300 on select Tempur-Pedic sets. And save up to $700 on the Beach Street Pillow Top mattress and receive 2 free latex pillows. Plus, pay no interest for 3 years on purchases over $3,000. Shop these deals and more during the Labor Day event at the Revive Sleep Center inside Living Spaces.
Living Spaces.
Your mortgage may be costing you way too much money. Prime Choice Funding is ready with an outrageous offer. Get a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage at just 2.125% rate in APR, or a 30-year fixed at just 2.5% rate in APR. Best of all, we pay all lender fees. You could save up to thousands every year. Super low rates and no lender fees. It's an outrageous opportunity. Call Prime Choice Funding now at 855-722-2400, 855-722-2400, or visit primechoicefunding.com.
Before 2016, I had 30 to 40 seizures daily. It was terrifying. In May of 2017, my team of doctors at UCSF implanted this device that minimizes my seizures. But it's time to replace the battery. I didn't think twice about going in for surgery during COVID because I really trust my doctors at UCSF. So we are heading over and I'm doing a COVID test.
Hi, how are you?
It was calm. We were all keeping 6 feet apart. Everyone was wearing masks.
Come on in.
My test was negative, and 3 days later, I'm ready to go in for surgery.
Hi, Kim. Good luck.
Hi, Mom. After the surgery, my recovery was quick, and my life is back to normal.
On-demand glucose monitoring, because they're always on. Another life-changing technology from Abbott. So you don't wait for life, you live it.
If I could, maybe I'd give you my world. How can I, when you won't take it from me? You can go your own way, go your own way.
Your wireless, your rules. Only with Xfinity Mobile.
All right, it's a lot of gunk in the air. You can stay up to date on all this smoke and the bad air with our new KPIX 5 app. It gives you 24/7 access to CBS and Bay Area and KPIX newscasts, real-time news updates, and breaking news alerts. Well, it's not just California. It makes you feel better. Fires are also ripping through parts of Oregon and Washington State. Officials say that more acres burned in a single day than firefighters usually see all year. Hundreds of homes have been destroyed in Oregon, including these by Mount Hood, and in eastern Washington, the small town of Malden. Mostly destroyed. The smoke and the haze has created an orange glow there, similar to the one we're experiencing here.
This is crazy. We've lived here for 15 years and we've never had to be prepared to evacuate.
Well, hurricane-force winds in the Pacific Northwest are making fighting these wildfires extremely challenging. Forecasters expect winds of 75 miles an hour to turn small blazes into monster fires.
And Paul joins us here again. And Paul, it's hard to believe that smoke is making its way all the way down to us.
And beyond. The whole West Coast is covered in smoke right now. Some of the pictures from Oregon, even worse than what we saw in the Bay Area. I saw where it just looked red at points during the day yesterday. The fire icons you're seeing here, satellite indicated hotspots. So you can see where they're clustered around the largest fires in Oregon, up in Washington State, and then in California as well. The orange coloring indicates heavy smoke. It's everywhere up and down the West Coast, and it's not going to go anywhere for a while, especially in the upper levels of the atmosphere. This is an experimental forecast model. It just focuses on wildfire smoke. We're going to start it at 11 o'clock this evening, and the red and purple indicates the most smoke overhead. We're going to go through 11 a.m. on Friday. That's as far into the future as this particular computer looks. And you see, while it moves around a little bit, it doesn't change to any great extent. But one piece of good news is that while it looks eerie and tomorrow's going to be another weird orange day, that's farther up in the atmosphere because the fires are so far away. The local fires that we had over the last several weeks that are mostly contained now produced that low-level smoke that got trapped. Now it's farther up in the atmosphere, so the marine layer comes into play. Usually, when we look at the atmosphere, the lowest levels are the warmest. It gets colder as you go up. But along the West Coast, including the Bay Area, the marine layer comes into play, and that changes things a bit. Usually, warm air rises up. As long as the surrounding air is cooler, it'll keep going up, and that disperses any smoke that's near ground level. The whole atmosphere has a way of stirring itself vertically. That changes once the marine layer makes its way in because we get what's called an inversion. The temperature actually goes up as you go up, and that traps things on either side of the boundary. So if we have low-level smoke, that gets trapped, but that has been diminishing as the fires locally have been more contained. It also keeps the upper-level smoke trapped in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So while we're seeing the sun being filtered out by that and producing that orange glow, it's not settling all the way down towards ground level to severely reduce our air quality. Now, it's still an issue. It's going to be an issue for the next several days. The worst air quality tomorrow in the North Bay, inland in the East Bay and the Santa Clara Valley. Unhealthy for sensitive groups, but the way the atmosphere just looked today, you would expect it to be in red or purple. But because it's farther up in the atmosphere, it's why it's not as bad necessarily as it looks. But it looks terrible. I mean, this is unbelievable right now. You can just see the glow from Oracle Park right now. The marine layer is making its way in, so that's the fog that we're seeing now in the city, kind of jumbled together with the smoke. 59 degrees downtown. Otherwise, temperatures are all in the 60s. We're going to drop down just a few more degrees. I mean, maybe a couple, upper 50s to around 60 degrees by early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's high temperatures are still going to be below average. I think we're going to be maybe a little warmer today as some of that upper level smoke gets mixed around a bit, but still below normal for this time of year, and it's another low confidence forecast. We missed today's forecast high temperatures by a lot. Probably the most I have in 20 years of doing this. I'll just admit it. Tomorrow's another day where that could happen, but I think we're going to be low 60s along the coast, low to mid 70s around the south end of the bay, with mid to upper 70s and low 80s in the Santa Clara Valley. The warm spots won't be all that warm because of that layer of smoke overhead blocking the sunlight. Mid 80s on the east side of the Diablo Range, upper 70s to around 80 degrees for the Tri-Valley, mid to upper 60s to around 70 near the bay, low 70s for the North Bay and farther north. While you still get that smoke blocking the sunshine, it is going to be a little bit warmer, and the fire weather conditions are still going to be a challenge in Lake and Mendocino counties. Temperatures level off as we head through the next several days. Hopefully that smoke gets mixed around a bit as we head into the weekend. I'll have an update. Darren Peck is going to be in to take a look at different levels of smoke in the atmosphere as well, coming up at 11 o'clock.
All right, Paul, thank you. Here's a look at your top headlines. A live look at the White House. Newly published audio tapes of the president are shaking up the election. In those tapes, the president admitted to journalist Bob Woodward the virus was more deadly than what he was saying in public. Woodward spoke to the president multiple times for his new book, Rage.
We don't want to instill panic. We don't want to jump up and down and start shouting that we have a problem that is a tremendous problem, scare everybody.
You just breathe the air. That's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down. Yes, sir. Because I don't want to create a panic.
Take a live look out at San Francisco. Despite the poor air quality, outdoor gyms and fitness centers reopened today. Some places like Fitness SF and Soma are now taking reservations online. Indoor gyms are expected to reopen by the end of the month. And Ken, they will be restricted to one-on-one personal training sessions or individual gym sessions.
They're progressing. We're moving forward. All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Coming up next, looking back 10 years later after one of the biggest Bay Area disasters involving PG&E. Plus, the Giants add some smoke to their roster, and no, we're not talking about the bright orange sky. And then later, why you may have had trouble catching the true orangeness of the sky with your iPhone. We'll explain.
The California dream isn't what it used to be. Millions are unemployed and homelessness is on the rise. Let's work together to keep the dream alive. Keep families in their homes. Vote yes on Prop 21 this November.
Look, this isn't my first rodeo. And let me tell you something. I wouldn't be here if I thought reverse mortgages took advantage of any American senior. Or worse, that it was some way to take your home. It's just a loan designed for older homeowners, and it's helped over 1 million Americans. A reverse mortgage loan isn't some kind of trick to take your home. It's a loan, like any other. Big difference is how you pay it back.
Find out how reverse mortgages really work with AAG's free no-obligation reverse mortgage guide. Eliminate monthly mortgage payments, pay bills, medical costs, and more. Call now and get your free info kit. Call 1-800-721-0607.
Other mortgages are paid each month, but with a reverse mortgage, you can pay whatever you can when it works for you. Or you can wait and pay it off in one lump sum when you leave your home.
Discover the option that's best for you. Call today and find out more in AAG's free no-obligation reverse mortgage loan guide. Access tax-free cash and stay in the home you love.
You've probably been investing in your home for years, making monthly mortgage payments, doing the right thing. And it's become your family's heart and soul. Well, that investment can give you tax-free cash just when you need it.
Learn how homeowners are strategically using a reverse mortgage loan to cover expenses, pay for health care, preserve your portfolio, and so much more.
Look, reverse mortgages aren't for everyone, but I think I've been around long enough to know what's what. I'm proud to be a part of AAG. I trust them. I think you can too.
Trust AAG for the best reverse mortgage solutions. Call 1-800-721-0607 so you can
retire better.
In a heartbeat, everything can change. Homelessness can affect someone you know or even you. It can happen overnight. Illness, job losses, what we think is secure can be taken away. Keep families in their homes. Vote yes on Prop 21 this November.
Okay, it's late. These people are wide awake.
Well, it was at this exact moment 10 years ago, one of the biggest disasters in Bay Area history was unfolding, involving PG&E and a San Bruno pipeline explosion. A main gas line ruptured, blew up the Crestmore neighborhood. I mean, blew it up. 8 people died. Dozens of homes were destroyed. Neighbors who lived through the explosion, stayed through rebuilding, are looking back tonight and remembering the friends they lost.
That's something I miss, just waving back at each other.
Total change, one, because there was 3 houses here and now there's a park.
It could have happened in your city. It could have happened in someone else's city. It could be your mother, your grandmother.
And you can see the lights from Oracle Park in San Francisco. Hard to believe, but the A's and the Giants are actually playing games tonight. The Giants will soon have one more Smoke tonight, as in former All-Star first baseman Justin Smoke. The Giants signed him after the Brewers released him. Smoke has struggled at the plate this season, but averaged 28 homers the previous 3 years.
And coming up next, why the camera on your iPhone doesn't like that bright orange sky.
Vanessa's lived in this affordable unit for 30 years. But that's about to change.
Someone came to the door and handed us an envelope.
Her building's below market rate status is expiring.
A fact that most tenants did not know when they moved in here.
Why thousands of affordable renters face the same fate.
This is really just the tip of the iceberg.
Project Home, tonight at 11 on KPIX 5 News. Expect more.
Looking for comfortable, breathable, protective masks? Boomer Naturals has 3 layers of cotton polyester blend enhanced with nano silver technology to repel tiny drops and particles with a middle layer cloth filter. Get Boomer nano silver masks and gaiters at your local CVS.
Unemployment has skyrocketed. What do state politicians do? Pass a drastic law that could eliminate hundreds of thousands of jobs by making it illegal for app-based drivers to continue working as independent contractors, threatening to shut down rideshare and food delivery services, hurting drivers and customers at the worst possible time. Proposition 22 will protect drivers' ability to work as independent contractors, saving critical jobs and services. Learn more.
Do you have a coffee smile? Drinking coffee causes yellow teeth for thousands of people just like you. And whitening toothpaste just doesn't make those stains go away. Introducing Power Swabs, the first teeth whitening system that lifts coffee stains off your teeth in less than 5 minutes.
I've smoked, I've drank coffee, I drink red wine, and using Power Swabs, it's made a difference. People ask me, what do you do to whiten your teeth? And I'm really proud to tell them that I use Power Swabs.
The secret is a tooth detergent and whitening agent developed by Dr. Martin Ginniker. Power Swabs remove stains on natural teeth, veneers, bonding, caps, and crowns. The best part is you just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you'll have whiter teeth.
When I use these whitening strips, I noticed when I would drink, I would get this crazy sensitivity. It would go right to my brain, and I'm like, I hate this. With Power Swabs, there was zero sensitivity.
Try it now and get up to 40% off the regular price. Shipping is free, plus you'll receive a free Quick Stick pen.
No one plans on having an accident. That morning, it happened to me. After the fall, I had so many questions about the hospital bills. Am I getting the best care? What about my job? I need help. I gotta call the Barnes firm. And that was the best call I could have made.
At the Barnes firm, we've handled thousands of accident cases. Our team works to answer all of your questions and help each client get the best result possible.
Your search is over for a comfortable, breathable face mask. Boomer Naturals gives you 3 layers of protection, plus a nose clip and adjustable ear loops. Available in multiple sizes for adults and children with many patterns and colors to choose from. Get Boomer Nano Silver masks and gaiters at your local CVS.
Well, if you've been having trouble capturing the orange haze on your phone's camera, you're not alone. Take a look at this shot of Mount Tam taken on an iPhone. The skies were actually much lighter in real life. And check out these photos from Glen Park in San Francisco. The orange was much more intense, but appeared lighter on camera. And here's why. Smartphones have such good cameras, they are actually lightening the photos automatically.
So this is to do with the white balance of the scene. Your iPhone or Android phone is pretty much automatically correcting the white balance to what it thinks is the correct view of the scene, which is not an orange sky, even though that's what it looks like to you and I.
Well, the experts say the best way to capture the actual orange skies is by using an app to control the white balance. Turn it off.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching tonight at 7 o'clock. The news continues streaming on CBSN Bay Area.
And we'll be back here at 11 o'clock. We'll have the latest on the fires burning, the smoke, what to expect tomorrow. All that coming up at 11. Have a